Hey everyone, I go by the name of Kevin Kryptonite and welcome back to the channel. So for the most part, all the games that I've covered on this channel have been games I have either owned or beaten. That way at least you get a first-hand experience of somebody who's actually physically played the games or beaten the games, and it doesn't feel like you'll be cheated out if you decide to go and purchase one of these games, depending on how you view my opinion of it in any case. So that being said, there are some titles that are not available on PS4. Well, and most likely I'm too broke to purchase the games that I'd like to play. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, that brings us to this video. I wanted to make a list of 5 games that are developed by South African developers. Most of these studios are either here in SA or have studios overseas with a high ratio of South African developers. These guys work very hard to produce the games that they make, and although they might still be indie games, they look polished, like super polished. Like they look like they were made by AAA studios, and I do feel like the ones that I'm going to mention are AAA studios, because you will have a look at what these games look like and they are pretty good. For the most part, when we talk about South African developers, you probably would think mobile games, but a good majority of these games are available on Steam and the Nintendo Switch, so that's all you'll be able to find them. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get into this list. Now, Cape Town based studio Free Lives, which was founded in April of 2012, led by the director Evan Greenwood. They are best known for that game Broforce. Broforce is a 2D shooter, and it has some nostalgic feel that it's in the vein of like Contra. It's pixelated art, and I really like that aesthetic of how it's built that way. So in any case, in Broforce you can choose from a list of familiar action heroes with like subtly changed names. For instance, Robocop, Rambro, Bro Dread. You get the picture. Like the like familiar action heroes, but bros in their names. Like I said, it's a pixel art aesthetic, and it's satisfying to see enemies spread blood all over and pixelated art. That's just super cool. You will have a vast array of guns and blades that you can use to defeat your evil army led by the devil. So that's an interesting story, but really, what kind of story do you really need for a shooting up game like this? It's like I said, it's a 2D platforming type of game. You can go left and right, but it's just basically shoot until you finally get to the boss. Broforce is great for co-op. It's an indie game with a refreshing feel, and I highly moving right along. The studio is called Storm. It is a KZN developed studio and comprises of 3 brothers, Nolan, Oren, and Logan Richard. Now they've come a long way from being like mods they were mods for Unreal Tournament and Unreal Tournament 3 before they started their development studio. Now they have an early access game called Viscera Cleanup Detail. You play the game in a first person, it's viewed in first person. It's really taken the Steam community by storm. See what I did there? Storm, because the code Rune Storm.
Move this man!
Okay. The game sees you play as a janitor, and you're tasked with cleaning a horrific, bloody scene. You are armed with a bucket, a mop, and you have to clean the area 100%. As you progress, you'll unlock different cleaning equipment, and that will allow you to get into some tough to clean areas, tough to clean stains, so on and so forth. I like the simplicity of this game. It's a curb from what we normally do when you're in game, which is kill enemies and leave a lot of blood behind. Now it's your turn to clean up all that blood splatter, and it has kind of, I would suppose you would say, a puzzle kind of mechanics to it in terms of how do you clean the area in the quickest way. So yes, that is Runestorm's game Visceral Cleanup Detail. Check it out. Right, moving along, and speaking of horror scenes, this next game, Stasis, is a science fiction horror point-and-click adventure game, and it is developed by the Brotherhood. Now, in this game, you play as the main character, John Marvacek, who awakens from a stasis aboard an abandoned spaceship. Marvacek must unravel the mysteries aboard the spaceship to find his missing wife and daughter before the spaceship plunges further into Neptune's methane clouds. The game is viewed from an isometric perspective, and the game requires interactions with computers, combining items, and puzzle solving. The Brotherhood is another 3-person team, and if you want a clue of how great these guys are and what they do, they received $132,523 as part of their Kickstarter campaign to build this game. So these guys really do know what they're doing. The game looks amazing, and I would think that it also plays well. I don't really go in for top-down isometric types of games, but as I do like puzzles, so it's a good game to check out as well.
Medical data storage is damaged. Formatting quantum storage device. Plug suit quantum storage device is ready for physical record storage.
This isn't my ship.
Moving right along now, if you think Stasis was weird, we're getting into even weirder territory with this one. Our boys from Free Lives are back with a hard to justify title. Genital Jousting is an online local multiplayer game about a flaccid penis and wiggly anus for up to 8 players at once. Players control a detached penis, complete with testicles and anus. Multiple game modes provide a stimulating orgy of objectives: penetrate and be penetrated as fast as possible, or compete in absurd and silly sexual suggestive games and challenges. Guys, by the way, everything that I just said, this is how the game is described in the Steam store. So I love what Free Lives are doing with how they're developing games and how they make games. They're pushing genres, they're pushing boundaries, and I'm really here for all of it, I love it.
Oh, how desperately he wants to find love. Real, beautiful, lasting, sweaty love.
But John is a dick, and he does, well, dick things. Just so many dick things.
And lastly, we have probably one of my favorite games on this list, and it's called Semblance. Semblance is developed by Nyamakop, the South African game developers. The 2 guys who are in this development studio is Kimani and Myers, and they have built the studio into one of the most promising studios in SA game development. This was all described by Polygon, by the way. The debut game Semblance has been exhibited all over the world at consumer shows such as E3, PAX East, Gamescom, EGX, and in addition to a lot more other trade shows. Semblance is an independent puzzle platformer video game. You play as a squishy in a vibrant purple world that is slowly being corrupted by a green crystal substance. You will solve puzzles by deforming the world or deforming yourself, which would allow you to progress, all accompanied by a beautiful soundtrack. I cannot speak more highly of this game. It kind of reminds me of Journey. You should also check that out, Journey on PS4. But yeah, Semblance is, I love the colors in it, I like the sounds of the game, it looks great. Semblance is definitely one of those Sunday afternoon chill out and vibe type of games, and it's got enough of a hook that, you know, even if you are stuck at a puzzle, you'll keep coming back and try to challenge yourself into beating the puzzle as quick as you can. And that's it. Those are 5 SA developed games you probably didn't know about. I will be doing a lot more of this type of format of, you know, bringing out lists of different games that I like, different genres of games. Maybe I'll do a top 10 sometime soon. If you'd like to see that, please remember to comment in the section below what kind of content you want me to, you know, dive in, what kind of content you want to see, and I'll make sure to cover those. Remember to like, share, subscribe. You can find all these games that I've just mentioned in this video on Steam as well as the Nintendo Switch. So support local developers, guys. Go out there and get yourself a copy of any of these games. I guarantee you will not be bored, and it's not a purchase that you're going to regret. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.